welcome to you all at home.
You've still got a chance to win this race, haven't you?
Just drive. I wanna be the only one to make it through the
Hey guys, Dre here, Harrison Worm back at it once again with a brand new video for you, and welcome to episode 5, season 2 of Dre TV, where we talk some F1 with some F1 2014 in the background. Right, let's talk about Bernie Ecclestone, everybody's favourite man in Formula 1. He came out with an interview with the Asia Pacific magazine earlier in the week, basically saying that Formula 1 doesn't need young fans. I'm going to read a quick excerpt from his interview. It was one of the most cringeworthy things I've ever seen in my life. But he said, "I'm not interested in tweeting, Facebook, whatever this nonsense is," said Ecclestone in the interview. This is from the Autosport report, by the way. When he talks about F1's financial problems and the future direction of the sport. "I tried to find out, but in any case, I'm too old-fashioned. I couldn't see any value in it. What does the young generation really want?" He's saying he said, asked if they believe there was no value in attracting a young audience, Ecclestone said, "If you have a brand that you want to put in front of a few hundred million people, I can easily do that for you on television. Now you're telling me I need to find a channel to get 15-year-olds to watch Formula 1 because somebody wants to put out a new brand in front of them? They're not going to be interested in the slightest bit. Young kids will see the Rolex brand, but are they going to go out and buy one? They can't afford it. And UBS, they don't care about banking either. That's what I think. I don't know why people want to get to the so-called young generation. Why do they want to do that? Is it to sell them something? Most of these kids haven't got any money. I'd rather get to the 70-year-old guy who's got plenty of cash. So there's no point trying to reach these kids because they won't buy any of the products here, and if marketers are aiming at its audience, maybe they should advertise with Disney." Welp, welp, welp. What Bernie Ecclestone fails to realise here is that many people got into Formula 1 when they were a teenager, or maybe even younger than that. I started watching Formula 1 when I was 8 years old. My dad introduced F1 to me, because he grew up a huge Michael Schumacher fan. He loved Jacques Villeneuve, and he got me into Formula 1. Well, somebody had to like Jacques Villeneuve, right? But that's how I got into the sport. I know, for example, Arav only started watching about 5 or 6 years ago, when he was about 14, 15 years old. I know a lot of fans who got into it as kids and have continued to support it through their childhood and adulthood. I mean, me being 22, I've been watching for the better part of 14, 15 years, so I know the feeling. How can Bernie say that, essentially, the young viewers don't matter? Those are the people you're trying to hook in, because they may not have money yet, but they're working, and they can ask their parents for money. Why do you think companies like the WWE go in so hard for young kids? Because their parents are the ones with the money, and they will nag and they will bitch at their parents until they spend their money on them. Like, you can't ignore the young demographic. It's too big a potential pot to ignore, because if you get them into the sport early enough, trust me, they'll be a fan for life. And that is a very, very valuable thing. And that loyalty is what will make people most likely be able to spend and open their wallet on tickets, on merchandise, on all that shit. I spent over 200 quid on Red Bull gear in my house alone ever since I became a fan of their team in 2008. I have Vettel's mini helmet, that was like 100 plus quid. The shirt's like 60, the cap's another 30. Like, these guys are making killings out of young people, because I see many a young F1 fan carrying merch these days. It's a common thing. So, for Bernie to go after the 70-year-old with the cash is kind of funny to me, because someone needs to ask Bernie, what 70-year-old is drinking Red Bull cans all day? Just a thought. And, you know, I had a couple of really good comments here from Owen, for example. Says, "I gave my kids a hard time as a kid if they did something that clashed with a Grand Prix day. Now for the Supremo to come out and say this product doesn't need young supporters is just cringeworthy. There's going to be a 17-year-old driving next year. How is this not youth-friendly? I give up with Mr. E, honestly. And yeah, I can't believe Formula 1 doesn't have a better social media footprint for a sport as massive as it is. A sport that has 500 million viewers worldwide, and in this country alone gets about 5 million viewers a race. Like, there is so much untapped potential here, it's funny. And you know, the F1's official Twitter account only literally in our last couple of rounds started implementing Twitter properly. Before, it used to be just another news site and a place where you could spam links to, you know, getting your calendar on your desktop and following Asa Akira on Twitter. Because, you know, F1 already has one award-winning arsehole, why not have another? So, you know, it's a situation where only recently have F1 started embracing Twitter, and to be fair, they're pretty good at it, really. They post a lot of pictures, they post a lot of good stats on there, and, like, that's a cool thing to have. Like, why couldn't your sport do something like that? Why not take it one step further and have video highlights? You want to get people to watch this shit. Like, why would you sit on your hands and not have a social media footprint when all the young people are the ones that are talking about the product? Look at me, I'm a 22-year-old making a video about this right now on YouTube. And trust me, there's about 50 of us who are doing the exact same kind of thing right now on YouTube alone. One of them has over 50,000 subscribers. You can't ignore the potential in something like this. Like, why do they not have a proper Facebook presence? Why do they not have an official YouTube channel? In fact, they block their own teams from using their own footage. Red Bull had to get around, like, F1's tricky copyright system when making a video tribute to Daniel Ricciardo's first win in Canada. Like, they had to get around their own copyright. That just goes to show you how arse backwards Formula 1 is. And you know what's really peculiar about this? The FIA, who run the same entity as Formula E, have a brilliant social media footprint. They have an official YouTube, they have an official Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram. They have a fan boost system so that where the fans can, you know, literally decide who gets a fan boost and who doesn't. I don't agree with that per se, but Formula E has done everything right about trying to get as many viewers on their product as possible. They've put extended highlights on YouTube, they don't have problems with copyright, they embrace the fact that people take their content and put it on YouTube because, heck, any promotion is good promotion and free promotion. They even put the test race footage from Donington Park on YouTube as well. So they know what they're doing, they have a social media footprint and they're out there doing this. It's really frustrating when Formula 1's most active top-level employee is an 84-year-old man who simply doesn't get it anymore. And that's something I find very, very disappointing, especially when the field in Formula 1 itself is getting younger. We're just coming off a four-time world champion who's 27 years old. The youngest world champion record has been broken 4 times in the last 10 years or so. Well, 3 times actually, Alonso, Hamilton and then Vettel. The grid is going down in terms of average age. The average age of the field is now 26.5 and is only going to go down when it's looking likely that Button will not be around anymore and he's going to be replaced by a 17-year-old at Toro Rosso. These things you can't ignore anymore, and if you have a strong, entertaining product that people are talking about, the sponsors and the money will come with it. How could sponsors and advertisers ignore a hustling, bustling sport that's down with the kids and the adults? What Bernie fails to realise is it's a bit like companies that are trying to expand. The hardcores are going to watch no matter what happens. It doesn't matter if you don't make an effort towards the 40, 50, 60-year-old demographic who are watching. They're going to watch anyway because they're hardcore Formula 1 fans who can't ignore a Grand Prix. If you can make an effort to get the younger market in and gain more fans, they'll stick around for life. Trust me, they will do that, because something I've learned about Formula 1, like with a lot of sports, people like to bitch and moan and rant about it, but they'll always watch. They care too much to ignore it. So if you can get those younger viewers in right from the start, you'll have fans for life, and it's nothing but smart. Bernie is 84 years old, and that's part of the problem. He still thinks it's 1975 where you can advertise tobacco and that will solve all the problems. It's a different sport now. And again, maybe that's the problem. I could go into his delusions about Caterham and Marussia saying no one misses them, and even though Marussia has had a ton of public outcry to come back, and Caterham have raised over £1.5 million to make the final race, but that's just Bernie being Bernie. Is it time to go, Bernie? I seriously have to question this now, because he's becoming a senile old man who just doesn't get it anymore, in my opinion. But I'll leave that for you guys to talk about. What do you guys think of the whole deal? Is Bernie out of touch? Should Formula 1 be trying to target a younger audience? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Sayonara.